Hello, how is everyone doing? We are back for week 3. I'm so proud of myself. Please keep holding me accountable, but I do think this is going to be a weekly podcast now. I've got weeks and weeks of content planned for you guys. I just have to make sure that I film it because it is conditional upon me actually finishing some knitting. Today, I thought I'd take you through some footage from the knitting and stitching show that I went to last weekend, and also I've got some footage of, so I had all of this last week off for my birthday, and Rob took me on a surprise trip to the Lake District, so I thought I'd put in some footage of that in case you're interested. It was a really, really beautiful trip, and we had a lot of fun and a lot of challenges. Not between the two of us, thank goodness, but there was a lot of hiking and scary things for someone like me. I did it, but had to fight some fears. But we also visited a spa and had some nice relaxing time too, so I can't really complain. So what I thought I would do is start off with the knitting and stitching show footage. It's just a couple of minutes that I've edited together so you can get a feel for it if you haven't been before. Then I'll talk a little bit about, well, I have some footage I've already recorded when I got back from the show and show you what I bought, and generally share my opinion of the show and anything that I plan to do in regards to knitting shows going forwards. Then I'll show you some footage from my trip to the Lake District, and I'll show you a couple of things that I bought there. It's not yarn, but it is knitting related. And then I thought we'd finish up because I'm basically spent all of my trip knitting on my birthday sweater, which if you don't know anything about, watch my last episode because that will give you a little indication of what I'm making. I'm quite far through it, so I'm hoping not next week but maybe the week after I should be able to show you a finished garment and the video. So I've been filming the process from the beginning to the end of that jumper, so maybe be an interesting watch for you. I'm also going to show you how I plan on styling it. I've got a lot of requests about how I style my knits, and there'll be videos on that in the future, I promise. Oh, and right now I'm wearing my Sweater Hug by Skein Deer. I wear this all the time. It's such an easy knit. I'm a little bit hoarse. I've got a bit of a sore throat, but all is good. Let me show you. I've paired it with just a pair of black jeans. That angle is all wrong for me to show you, but it's just a comfy, cozy outfit. That's a lot of ers. That is a lot of ers. So I will just let you get started. Have a look at the footage from the knitting and stitching show. Now. I feel like an absolute idiot talking to myself on camera, but there we go. You can't tell, but the hill's pretty steep. Had a nightmare on the trains. My train station wasn't running any trains to Ali Pally, so I had to get the boyfriend to drive me to the nearest station. But I made it, and I'm really out of breath, so I'll talk to you again in a minute. I'm not sure if you can hear me with all the wind. everyone. I just got back from the knitting and stitching show. Well, not just got back, I got back actually a couple of hours ago. I just had to eat because I was starving. So, mixed reviews. It was worth going because I found 2 new dyers that I am now obsessed with, although I'm not sure my bank account is as keen that I found this out. However, there were quite a few downsides, if I'm honest. So basically I had a few issues getting there. There's a train that actually goes directly from mine to Alexandra Palace, and that wasn't running today because of strikes. So I had to get Rob to drop me off at another station, get a train from there. It was all a bit of a kerfuffle, but ended up being fine. It was unbelievably busy. It was so busy and it made me feel a little bit claustrophobic, if I'm honest. And it also made it really hard to see things. So a lot of the stalls, if you haven't been before, are like little cubbies, like they're just like 3 walls with a front, and they're like square, and so you could probably only fit 2 or 3 people in there, and there's like 20, 30, 40 people trying to get into every stall. Actually, one of the exhibitors told me that yesterday, so on Saturday, they had 8,000 people throughout the day turn up, and this has been on since Thursday, so it's Thursday through to Sunday, I think. And that kind of sums up how busy it was. It was insane. It's a big space, but it was very full. So that was one downside. It was hard to see things. I'm sure I missed things because it was so busy. Second of all, the prices have gone up on the tickets. It's £22 for an adult ticket now. I think that's a bit extortionate, given it's a marketplace where you're going to be spending a lot of money anyway. Maybe other people have different views, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'd happily pay it for like going to see an exhibit or a certain gallery that I really want to see, but I'm not sure that it was worth £22. Just my thoughts. Although there were some exhibits at the beginning that were really good, but yeah, I thought that was a bit steep, all things considered. And then the other thing I was going to say is just one of the exhibitors that I thought was going to be there, because they've been there every year I've been but weren't. And yeah, I only stayed for like an hour and then I left because I thought it was just a bit too busy for me, to be honest. However, I did get some goodies that I think you might want to see. And you may already know the people that I got this from, but I did not. They are new to me, so hopefully I can introduce some of you to this amazing dyeing couple, actually. So if I just grab my bits. Here are my goodies from the show. I was hoping, I mean, I spent a lot of money, more than I should at the single stall that I bought things from, but I actually intended on getting more than what I actually got. So let me show you. I got a kit, and then I got a sweater's quantity of yarn. So the company are called Zakimi. I don't know if any of you have heard of them before. I've had a few people message me on Instagram saying that they love these guys. It's a husband and wife couple. I was actually speaking to the husband of the yarn dyers, and he said he started it because his wife was a knitter and wanted yarn colours that she couldn't find, and I just thought that was the most amazing, like if that not the best knit husband you've ever heard. So anyway, this bit is from a kit, so I'll show you that bit first. So what I saw in the shop was a sample, and I needed the exact sample, and unfortunately, they, being the last day of the show, they didn't have all the colours left. They only had these 2, and then there was a creamy colour that went with it. I was going to pick a light orange to go, but the gentleman running it convinced me that this grey would go better for the contrast, because the light orange was quite similar to this one. So these are the 3 colours I've gone for. Actually, let me tell you, this brown colour, Woolakota, the grey colour, Pico, and the beautiful orange colour is Azeria. And they're all 100% brushed Suri alpaca. It's 100 grams, 400 meters. So this is actually for a scarf. So let me show you. Came with the pattern as well. So the pattern is the Monica scarf by Anila Pickles, Yelly's Wonders. So it uses marling and intarsia to create that checked pattern, and I just thought this was so classic. I was only saying, if you haven't seen it already, check it out on my Autumn Makes videos, that I would love a wrap or a scarf, but I find them boring to make. I never stick to them. The one that I was planning on making, the brioche waves wrap that I've started a million times, is fairly complicated, but this looks really simple. I figured I could finish it quite quickly. I'm imagining it when like this year, the one big buy I want to make is oh, excuse me, I just ate food, I'll just repeat them a little bit, is a coat like Marilyn Monroe, like the camel wrap coat, so that just makes me think of Marilyn, and I just thought these colours over one of those. I've also got a trench coat and a similar colour. It's just so snuggly. Also, I get my orange hit in that last video as well. I was talking about how I really want to wear orange, but I don't know how that would go with my hair. But actually, maybe I could do it. I don't know, what do you think? Tell me. But anyway, that's what I'm going to make with it. And I definitely want to make this soon because I feel like it's going to go really, really well with pretty much everything I own. And I really need a snuggly scarf because I never make them, despite being a knitter. I always make garments. So that's one really exciting purchase. And I've never heard of the designer before, so I'm going to check them out as well afterwards. Then I got a sweater quantity of fingering weight yarn. And I don't know what I'm going to use this for, but I was so obsessed with the colour that I just have to show you. Look at it. So it's got beautiful greens and pinks and oranges. I mean, they're all my colours, aren't they? So the button bands have all come off, but it is 100% non-superwash Corridel. 100 grams is 400 meters, fingering weight, and the colour is Hibema Arborum, or Hiberna Arborum. I can't see if that's an R. Yeah, I think it actually might be Hiberna Arborum. The RN looks like an M, but yeah, I think it's Hiberna Arborum. I haven't got my glasses on, and I know you guys don't see my glasses, but I am fucking blind. So anyway, yeah, I got a beautiful sweater's quantity of this. I don't know what I'm going to make. I'm thinking something as variegated as this. I probably want a really plain pattern. Let me know if you've got any ideas. I'm actually thinking, again, in the last video I spoke about the other raglan, this would look amazing on that jumper by Courtney Little, but I'm thinking actually it's not dissimilar for the yarn that I picked out from Latvia to go into that one. And actually, let me check this back. All I bought. It was so busy that I think there's going to be lots of people in the way of the things that I wanted to show you. The one benefit is, weirdly, I was about a head taller than almost everybody there, so I did get to see over most people's heads. Although I think I've mentioned this before, I am tall, but I'm not freakishly tall, so I don't know. Just maybe when I went. Or there's lots of little old ladies that might be part of it as well. I am really keen on trying some of the other yarn festivals like Yarndale or the one in Perth in Scotland. I feel like they're a bit more knitter focused, whereas the knitting and stitching show, as the name kind of says, there's lots, it's not just knitting, there's lots of sort of sewing and embroidery and other things, which all look great, but I have enough with knitting to be getting on with before taking up anything else. I have done a lot of sewing in the past, and previous years I've picked up fabric, but this year, and actually for the last couple of years I haven't done very much sewing at all, to be honest. I do really like it, but there's something more gratifying and enjoyable for me for knitting, and I'm just quite frankly better at it, so there's that. But yeah, it was good. Oh, the other honourable mention I want to make, so I saw this yarn shop, I'd never heard of her before, and I'm obsessed with all the colours. I went in, I was like, I could buy any colour here and be so happy. And I literally picked up a sweater's quantity, put it back, picked it up, put it back. I ended up leaving it, and now I massively regret it. There's a dyer called, actually very similar to my name, Pigment and Ply, rather than Ponder and Ply like mine. So we were destined to meet, let's put it that way. But Pigment and Ply, the colours are insane. And I actually messaged her just before I started recording this saying, can you tell me when everything that you've got that you didn't sell gets listed because I regret not buying shit from you. And she was very lovely and said that it'll be up before the end of the month, but don't steal it from me because I saw this beautiful brown, which isn't my usual colour palette, but I've been really leaning into trying a brown, so it was really lovely, like a dark brown with like little specks of lighter brown in it. But honestly, the pinks, the reds, she had so many unbelievably beautiful colours, so I will be trialling some of her yarns in the near future. But to be fair, I have so much yarn, and as you saw from my autumn makes or autumn plans vlog, I've got so many things that I want to make and I have most of the yarn for it, so I should probably just get on with what I've got and then reward myself when I've got through my stash, which I might end up doing. One thing that I really wanted to pick up was some Rowan yarn to make blank, the one that I again showed in the last video, but I can pop a picture in. Unfortunately, this is the first year I've been where Rowan haven't been exhibiting, so I didn't get to try out, sort of feel the yarn. That's the reason I haven't ordered it online yet. I wanted to give it a feel, because it's the Rowan Classic and there's some cotton content in it, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, so I wanted to feel it, but I guess I can just visit a local yarn shop. Not that I have that many local to me now, but I was thinking at some point I might travel into London and do a little video and stop off at a few yarn shops. I'd love to do all of them, but everything's so spaced out in London, I'm not sure that that's doable, but we shall see. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a higgledy-piggledy podcast if you hadn't realised already. It's Sunday today and I have all of next week off work because it's my birthday on Wednesday and Rob is taking me away from Tuesday to Thursday. I don't know where we're going, it's a surprise, but I'm sure there'll be some video footage from then too. Did any of you go to Knitting and Stitching Show? Did you see anything have you heard of the dyers that I just spoke about? There's so many, I mean, I can't get over them. I'm so glad I went, at least for that reason. And are there any other yarn shows you'd recommend for me to attend next year? So I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about the Knitting and Stitching Show and some of the footage that I managed to get there. How amazing is the yarn that I got? I will be working on that soon, I do not doubt, especially the scarf kit. I can see me wearing that with so many things I already own, and I just can't wait to make it. Also, I think it's going to be a really satisfying knit because it's just tons of just back and forth knitting, which is my jam. I love that. It's an underrated technique, I think. I love a bit of classic knitting. I think that's why I got through my birthday sweater so quickly. It's just stocking it in the round. It's flying by. And so now I want to show you a few clips from my trip to the Lake District. There's just a bit of scenery and like the beautiful outdoors up in the Lake District. It took us about 5 hours to drive up there, five and a half hours on the way there, and then on the way back we went via Manchester and picked up some food and things, so I had no idea how long it took us. We kind of spent the day. It was a really wonderful trip. We did a lot of hiking. It absolutely pissed it down on my birthday, but it didn't matter, we got out. We were meant to be going for a woodland walk and somehow started scaling a mountain to the point where we were literally climbing at almost vertical with no tools, no harness, no nothing. I was literally like, my nails are caked in mud. I was like clinging into the side. My knees, actually I might stick in a picture, my knees bruised and cut, and I'm just like crawling up the side of this mountain. It was not safe. It was pouring down, so we were sliding. Rob was quite far ahead of me, and at one point I thought I was following him, but I ended up going way off and got stuck in this place, and all you could hear was me going, Rob, help, can't cope, come and get me, I can't do this. And he was like, you've got two choices, you either keep coming up or we have to go back down. And we were already like 80-90% of the way up, and I was like, there is no way in hell I'm going back down. I was like, you need to go and check that there's another way down. And we got all the way to the top, started walking along this bit that felt a lot safer, and then we saw there was a road that went all the way up the other side of the mountain. So we managed to get down very safely because cars could go that way, but the way we went was stupid. But yeah, we spent a lot of time outside, ate good food. In the evening after that terrifying terrifying experience. We had spent an evening in the spa. He took me to a spa hotel, and there was like an outdoor infinity pool and sauna, steam room. It was beautiful. And then he had arranged for someone to bring out some champagne and cake, and everyone was singing, and I died a little bit inside because I don't like that attention, but it was very, very thoughtful. I'm very, very lucky to have him. So let me just show you a quick few bits from that trip now. One thing that I said I picked up whilst I was there is knitting related but not yarn, is actually some knitting or pre-made knits. So Rob asked me actually, why are you buying something that you can make yourself? But actually it was a really good cause. So we came across this craft fair and they were selling Himalayan knits. So these were knits made by Nepalese women. And it's a fair trade organisation that paid fairly for their work, and they get the yarn locally, knit up these items, and then they sell them via this charity to make money. So I wanted to support a really good cause. Also the knits were amazing, and they're things that I'm too lazy to make myself. So I picked up these amazing mittens. Let me put one on. They've also lined them in fleece so that they're not too itchy. Let me show you. How amazing are these? They are so thick and warm. They've got a button to pin down the top, so you've got individual fingers. So this is what I would never do. I'm too lazy to do the individual fingers. And then they've got the fold over top. I just think they're amazing, and they're so warm. I did use them whilst we were away because it was quite cold, and they are perfect. And then the other thing I got was this really lovely headband. I'm just obsessed with the colour. It's such a good colour. I'll pop in a photo of me wearing it so you can see. This also, which is a really good touch, is lined with fleece so that it's not itchy. I do have quite a big head, so this is a little bit tight. But again, it can be really, really warm, and it's nice to be able to tie your hair up and still stay really nice and warm. So those are the two things that I picked up. I did try and get some local wool because there are sheep everywhere in the Lake District, but I went into a couple of knitting shops and they said that they're all having a really hard time getting it at the moment, so unfortunately I was not able to pick any up. Not that my stash needs any more yarn, but I did think it might be nice to pick something up from that trip. But I got these instead, and I will wear them to death, no doubt. But yeah, I guess that's everything for this week. I have a call to action, which I feel a bit cheeky asking, but I'm going to ask anyway. I'm having a really hard time getting these videos seen, and And I'm going to keep doing them regardless because I genuinely am really enjoying them, and people that message me and talk to me separately about all the things that I cover, it just is so rewarding and I love it, and I just love that conversation and community. However, I would also really like it if it reached a few more people. So if you're enjoying my content, please make sure that you're subscribing, liking, commenting. But also, if you have any friends or people that you know that would really enjoy my content, please can you tell them about it, or maybe mention it on social media that you're watching this. Any little thing like that means a huge amount for me. I'm really trying to get this off the ground. I have a very corporate job and it's a little bit soul destroying, and I would love to do something creative. Now I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm just branching out and seeing what I enjoy, and I'm really enjoying doing these videos at the moment, so we'll see if that anything happens with that. I'm also getting back into designing again. You may have noticed it's been quite a long hiatus. I even had a pattern that was halfway through testing that got retired. That will eventually come to fruition, but that's not the first one I'm going to be working on. Then I'm going to get something simple in, and then I've got some stuff planned out for next year. I've got hundreds of designs sketched out. It's just life over the last couple of years took its toll a little bit. I had quite a lot of bad things happen within my family, and obviously you guys know I had quite a long-term relationship come to an end. I just wasn't in the headspace trying to manage work, moving country, a dog, and everything else that comes with that, to also manage designing as well. But yeah, my brain just wasn't there, but I'm in a much better place now. I'm really happy, things are really good, and I've got the headspace to start working on stuff. So watch this space. There will also be some videos related to that too. But yeah, any recommendations, any sharing of this channel, or even like Instagram so people can find me that way, would be unbelievably appreciated. I'm gonna stop rambling now, but yeah, like I said, that would be really great if you're enjoying it. Obviously, if you think that my content's shit, then no need to share it, but if you can, that would be great. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend if you're watching it on Sunday. And if not, I will see you next week. See you next Sunday.